Let's be real. The world of work is changing, and it's changing fast. New tech, new demands, sometimes it can feel like the ground is just constantly shifting right under our feet. So how do you build a career that doesn't just survive but actually thrives through all that chaos? Well, today we're diving into a playbook for career adaptability, learning how to bend without breaking. All right, to get things started, let's do a little thought experiment together. Imagine your career is a literal path stretching out in front of you. Seems simple enough, right? But what if the rules for how you're supposed to walk that path changed completely every few seconds? Okay, so first you're just walking forward. Easy. But then, boom, the instruction changes. Now hop on one foot. A second later, it's, okay, now walk backward. And just when you get the hang of that, do it all with one eye closed. This little game is called the Walk of Change, and honestly, it's the perfect metaphor for a modern career. It's not just that the destination is changing, the actual rules for how we move forward are being rewritten on the fly. And that right there, that brings us to the big question we're tackling today. When the instructions keep changing, when a skill you mastered is suddenly obsolete and a new one is in high demand, how do you keep from just falling flat on your face? How do you stay on that path and keep making progress? It's a huge challenge, and it's one that every single one of us is facing. But you know, this feeling, it's not exactly new. Believe it or not, we're not the first generation to go through this. To really get a handle on it, let's take a look back at a profession that was totally turned upside down by technology, through the eyes of someone who lived it. Let's talk about Clara. For decades, being a telephone operator with a solid, respected career, you had to have a certain set of skills, a clear voice, quick hands, a great memory to connect all those calls. And Clara, well, she was a pro. This wasn't just a job for her, it was a huge part of her identity. But then, a disruptive new technology started showing up, the automatic switchboard. I want you to just pause for a second and really think about this. Imagine pouring 20 years of your life into mastering a craft, building a career around it, only to be told one day that a machine can now do your job better, faster, and cheaper. That was the reality for Clara and thousands of people just like her. It's more than just losing a job. It's a shock that makes you question your whole professional value. So what Clara did next? That's the most important part of this whole story. She had a choice, right? She could have just said, well, that's it for me. But instead, she took a step back and really looked at the skills she'd built. Not just plugging in cables, but her real skills. Fantastic communication, top-notch customer service, and amazing problem solving. And she found new ways to use them. Her journey is the ultimate proof that while a job title can vanish overnight, the abilities you develop, those are yours to keep. They're transferable. Clara's story is such a powerful lesson from the past. But now, let's bring it right here into the present and turn the camera around on ourselves. It's time for a little self-check-in to figure out how you instinctively react when change comes knocking. Just think about it for a minute. The last time a big project was suddenly canceled, or your job description got a major rewrite, or a new piece of software you had to learn was rolled out, what was your gut reaction? Was it frustration, anxiety, or, if you're really honest, was there maybe a tiny flicker of curiosity, a hint of opportunity? That first reaction says a lot about your go-to mindset. And usually, those reactions fall into one of two camps. On one side, you've got the resistance mindset. This is where you focus on what you're losing, you try to cling to the old way of doing things, and you kind of wait for someone to tell you what to do next. But on the other side, you've got the mindset of embracing change. This is all about looking for the hidden opportunity, being excited to learn something new, and taking the initiative yourself. Now, neither is right or wrong, but it's pretty clear which one is going to be more powerful in a world that never ever stops changing. Okay, enough reflection. Let's get real. We're going to drop ourselves right into the middle of a few modern-day job disruptions and see how we'd handle that one really critical question. So, scenario 1. Something we've all seen happen. Picture this. You're a cashier. You're great with customers, you're fast, you're reliable. But then, head office announces they're rolling out self-checkout machines across every single store. All of a sudden, your main function is at risk. So what do? This is that critical moment. Do you just keep scanning groceries and wait for the inevitable? Or do you start thinking strategically? What skills do you have that a machine doesn't? How could you pivot to a new, even more valuable role inside that same company? All right, scenario 2. You work at a call center as a telemarketer. Your job is to follow a script and make those calls day in and day out. Then, your company brings in a new AI system that can make thousands of calls an hour, and it follows that script perfectly every single time. And there it is again. The core task is being automated. So, what's the play? The AI can make the call, sure, but can it design the sales campaign? Can it analyze the data from those calls and figure out how to improve the script? Can it handle the really complex human conversations that go way off script? That's where the opportunity is hiding.
This table really shows how to make that jump. See, it's not about throwing away all your experience and starting from scratch. It's about building on what you already have. That cashier's people skills, that's the perfect foundation for a customer experience manager. A data entry clerk's incredible attention to detail, that's exactly what you need to get into data analysis. And the telemarketer who understands the sales process, that person can totally pivot into digital marketing strategy. It's all about connecting the dots to that next step up.
All right, so we've walked that crazy, unpredictable path. We've learned from Claire's amazing journey, and we've strategized our way through some very real modern scenarios. Now, let's bring it all home and nail down the essential skills you need to build a career that bends but never, ever breaks.
These right here are the 5 pillars of true career adaptability. First, flexible thinking. That's what lets you see a self-checkout machine not as a threat, but as your chance to move into customer experience. Then there's continuous learning. That's the drive to actually go and master that data analysis software when your old role changes. Proactive problem solving, that's what makes you the one who suggests a new marketing strategy instead of just waiting for instructions. Creative thinking helps you connect your old skills to new roles, just like Clara did. And finally, emotional resilience. That's the grit that gets you through the uncertainty and helps you bounce back stronger from any setback.
And you know, when it's all said and done, it comes down to this one powerful idea. Career adaptability isn't about sitting back and reacting to whatever changes come your way. No, it's the active, ongoing process of building your own future. One new skill, one fresh perspective, and one brave step at a time. The path forward is always going to be changing, but now you have the playbook for how to walk it.